start, I'm the director, Joe Baptist, and this is my first show directing, so normally I get to sit back there or be backstage right now and not be looking into a spotlight, hoping everyone is smiling. So before we start, I do want to remind you that in a few minutes we're going to be back in the 1870s, at the height of the Comstock. And in the 1870s we didn't have cell phones. So if you could make sure that you take this moment to turn those off so they don't ruin the experience of the time travel. If you are an emergency worker and have to keep it on vibrate, we understand. And we love the fact that you're taking your time to be with us. If you're not an emergency worker and don't need it on vibrate, if you could turn it off or onto airplane mode, we would appreciate that. Another thing we would appreciate is no smoking in the building. Our designated smoking area is the sidewalk in front of the old corner bar downstairs. Okay, so I want to, first of all, thank our sponsors, because without their sponsorship, we would have a hard time funding our shows. And yes, your ticket sales also really help with that. But the sponsors provide that seed money that we need. So first of all, the Union Brewery, the Virginia City Gallery of the West. I see we have some patrons or employees possibly. The Palace Restaurant and Saloon. The unfolding of the paper. Woo! Yay! The Cigar and Bar, which I've always just heard referred to as the Cigar Bar, so I was a little bit confused by that one at first. Fassett and Company Jewelers. Yay! Grandma's Fudge. Lots of fans in this crowd. The Mark Twain Saloon and Casino. Woo! St. Mary's Art Center, who also has loaned us some of our set furniture. The Roasting House. The Red Dog Saloon. CC's Closet. And CC's also, for all of our shows, they help us out with costumes. Some of us, because we like to get into the Virginia City vibe, when we're doing something that's 1860s, 1870s, we've got our own costumes, but not everybody does, and sometimes the ones we have don't work for the show. So they were able to help us out with this show, as they have with pretty much every show I've been involved with here for the last 3 years. See, the Silver Queen Hotel and Wedding Chapel. The Canvas Cafe. And this one, I was kind of surprised, and this one I really want to give a shout out to, because they're fellow performers here at the Opera House, David John and the Comstock Cowboys. I'm going to tell you that is an exceptionally classy move when we compete for performance times and things like that. For them to then sponsor our show shows that they really believe in the arts in Virginia City and the Quad Cities area. Also, I would be remiss not to mention the producers of our show, the Virginia City Tourism Commission. Yay! Okay, I have a couple of additions to your program. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background. We started auditions for the show back in August, and we started our rehearsals, and we had some turnover, and we had some changes in our plans. And originally, I thought we'd have a larger cast, and cast members would be available to do the caroling between scenes. And as we got closer to our show date, we lost some people. People took on extra roles. We realized we needed to recruit some new carolers. Some of these carolers I found last week at the parade because I saw them in costume and said, "Hey, can you sing?" Okay, if you can't sing, can you at least make a noise? And so not all of them made it into the program. So please keep in mind we have Andrew Woolman and Jim Click. We have Evie Hunt will be playing Emma's child. If you know the words to the carols, the real words, not the ones you learned at your fraternity, please feel free to sing along. We have a special guest performer who will not be on stage, but you'll hear his voice later in the show, Michael. So please give him a round of applause. Okay. During the show, you can take pictures, but no flash photos, please. If you want to take pictures of the cast or with the cast after the show, one of the traditions we have in Piper's Players is after the show we like to come down and mingle with the audience. Because a lot of you are our friends and our family members and people we work with. And that might also be friends or family members. And so we like to do that after the show. So please no flash photography during the show. Okay, so I think that's... Okay. Okay, so you got that out of your system now? Okay, we will have a 15-minute intermission. If there's a long line at the bathrooms during intermission, we'll extend that a little bit, but that'll be about halfway through the show for those of you who are planning, so it'll be about 40 to 45 minutes from when we get started. But right now, I'd like you to just close your eyes for just a moment, relax, and in your mind, please take yourselves back to the 1870s, right here in Virginia City. And in a moment, you're going to open your eyes. You're going to hear some singing. You're going to open your eyes, and you will be transported. And I hope you enjoy the show. It is about a man who is an old man who is lonely and greedy and has lost touch with the things in life that are most important. And we are thinking, instead of having our show set back in Europe, it's the 1870s. We have all come from Europe and other parts of the world and live here in America. We are Americans in Virginia City. So why not imagine that this Ebenezer Scrooge man has come to America and come to Virginia City? Because surely we understand there are such men everywhere, unfortunately, in every time and every place. And so I want you to imagine that not just the regular people that you see around Virginia City are here, but also that this Ebenezer Scrooge is living here. An Ebenezer Scrooge, of all of the people in Virginia City, he is the most
Ricky?
Stingy?
Miserly?
miserly. He's the most miserly man in Virginia City. But even as miserly and as miserable as he is, there is still hope for this man. And this is the story of hope. It is the story of a special Christmas Eve when this man, Ebenezer Scrooge, is visited by ghosts and spirits. And I know what you're thinking right now. I can see in your eyes, sir. Ghosts and spirits in Virginia City? Yeah. In my opera house? Who would ever think such a thing? But we are using our imaginations on whether you believe in ghosts and spirits in Virginia City and in the opera house. I am hoping that by the end of this show, you will believe in one spirit and you will be full of it. And that is the Christmas spirit.
$100 per piece. Quite a handsome profit.
Mr. Scrooge, there's a Mr. Flood here to see you, sir.
Oh, well, show him in. Doesn't do to keep potential clients waiting.
This way, sir.
Why, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Scrooge, and a Merry Christmas.
Good afternoon, Mr. Flood. I understand you have some business to propose. Looking for some investors for a new mine or a mill?
Yes, today my business is the business of charity, sir.
Charity, I see. Mr. Cratchit, do you know about this?
I'm sorry, sir. All he said was he had some business to discuss.
Yes, sir. At this festive time, charity is everyone's business. So a few of us are collecting a fund to help those in need and in destitute, who suffer greatly, even in a prosperous place such as Virginia City. Many are in want of common comfort and need, sir.
Are they indeed?
Yes, sir.
And what of the jails? Are they still operational?
Yes, sir.
And the workhouses and the orphanages?
Yes, but they scarcely provide the need for those individuals. So a few of us are collecting money to buy the poor some meat, drink, and a means of warmth. What may I put you down for, sir?
You may put me down. Nothing.
Nothing?
Look, I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry.
But, sir, many will die without the help of those more fortunate, such as yourself and me.
Then let them die and thereby decrease the surplus population.
Mr. Scrooge!
Mr. Flood, you've taken up too much of my precious time already, and it's time for you to go.
But, Mr. Scrooge!
Good day, sir.
Sorry.
Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!
Humbug.
Christmas a humbug? Oh, you don't mean that, surely.
Merry Christmas. What right of you to be so merry? You're poor enough.
Oh, what right of you to be so miserable? You're rich enough.
Well, what else can I be when I live in a world of fools such as this? Merry Christmas. If I had my way, every fool that goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own plum pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
Peace! You keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you, much good has ever done you.
Oh, Uncle. I have always thought of Christmas time as a kind, loving, charitable time of year. It is the one time of year when men and women view each other as fellow passengers on this earth and not a different race of creatures bound on different journeys. And so it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket. I say that Christmas has done me good and will do me good, and I say God bless it.
Well said, I must say.
Oh, so one more word out of you, Mr. Bob Cratchit. You'll spend Christmas looking for another job. My sister's daughter can get away with pushing me, but not my employees. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, Uncle, don't be angry. Come and have dinner with us tomorrow.
No, thank you.
But why not?
Because I'll be working, of course. I can't take time off to eat, drink, and make merry.
You've never enjoyed a day of good food and good company and merriment?
Of course not. Why would I waste my time with such things? Remind me of your mother. She was obstinate when she got an idea into her head.
Stubborn like my Uncle Ebenezer, that's what my mom and dad used to say. Well, if you won't come have dinner with me, how about you, Mr. Cratchit? How about you and your fine family come and have dinner with me tomorrow night?
Oh, well, that's quite kind and most unexpected, but I cannot oppose. Christmas is, after all, a time for family, and I'm afraid that I'm scheduled to work tomorrow.
Work on Christmas Day? That is a humbug. I wonder what mean-spirited old money grubber would make you work on Christmas Day.
I refuse to pay a day's wages for no work.
But Mr. Scrooge, it comes but only once a year.
Well, that's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Ah, I'm surrounded by fools. Very well. If you must have it, have it.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Oh,
That's excellent news. That means if the office is closed, you're free to come to dinner.
No, no, no. Mr. Cratchit may take his day to do with as he pleases, but I intend to spend my day in more important enterprises.
More important than family?
Don't you know business is more important than family?
Oh, Uncle, it hurts my heart to find you so resolute. So I shall wish you a Merry Christmas now and save my Christmas cheer to the very last. A very merry, 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 merry Christmas to you, Uncle.
Ah,
And a Happy New Year.
how bad.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Bob.
Well, Mr. Cratchit, you have tomorrow to do with as you please. But I expect you here all the earlier the next morning. Is that clear?
That's quite clear, sir. Thank you.
Mark my words, Bob Cratchit. The world is a harsh and cruel place, and the only defense against the cold hand of poverty is profit, acquisition, and gain. What's Christmas time to you but a time for finding yourself another year older, not a dime richer?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.
Scrooge!
Who's there? Who said that?
Scrooge!
Yeah, me too. Listen here. Watch out, I'm armed. But wait, this is mightier than the sword. Listen, you. Whoever's there, come out. Just imagining things. Blame Emma for all this. whoever you are, come out. Or I will call the law. That's right. I'll have the sheriff arrest you. You'll spend Christmas in a jail cell if I have anything to say about it. Oh, dreadful phantom, who and what are you?
Don't you recognize me, Ebenezer? I am your partner, Jacob Marley. I have come to warn you, to allow you to escape the fate that I am doomed to.
No, it can't be. You're just a figment of my imagination brought on by a bad meal. You're just an undigested bit of beef, a crumb of cheese, or a bit of underdone potato. Why, there's more of gravy than grave about you.
I have no time to waste with such silliness, Ebenezer. I am as real as death, as real as a profit and loss statement. And I am here to warn you of the dreadful accounting you will face if you continue on the path I helped to set you on. Now, are you ready to listen?
But Jacob, you were shackled. Who has done this terrible thing to you?
I have done it to myself. I wear the chains I forged in life. I made them, link by link, and yard by yard. The weight and length of the chain you bear yourself is growing as heavy and as long as mine. You have labored on it since we met. Yours is going to be a monstrous chain.
Oh, no, Jacob, that can't be. You've done no wrong. You were always a good man of business.
Business? Mankind should have been my business. The common welfare should have been my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence should all have been my business.
Please, Jacob, have mercy. Have mercy, please.
I have none to give, but you may yet have a chance, and a hope of escaping my fate. I bring you a chance for hope, Ebenezer.
You always were a good friend to me, Jacob.
You are to be haunted by 3 spirits.
Haunted? Haunted? Well, to be haunted. Well, if it's all the same to you, Jacob, I would rather not be haunted.
Without their visits, you will be doomed and cannot hope to escape the path I tread.
Doomed?
Expect the first when the bell tolls 1.
Well, what sort of spirits are they?
Expect the second when the bell tolls 2.
Well, how will I know them?
And the third when the bell tolls 3.
What will they, do to me?
I can say no more. I can stay no longer. Remember, Ebenezer, for your own sake, what has passed between us.
Jacob, no, 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 no. Oh. Imagining things. Ebenezer, you're imagining things. It's just a nightmare, that's all. It's a nightmare. A nightmare before Christmas. There's no such thing as spirits. Not in Virginia. Virginia City, certainly not in the Opera House. That's all humbug. That's all it is. It's a humbug. Are you the spirit of Jacob Hornbill?
I am.
Oh, thank God. It's not nearly as terrifying as I thought. What sort of spirit are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Christmas past? Long past?
No, your past.
My past? Well, why my past?
So you may see the steps you have tread. Come, Ebenezer, take my hand. I have much to show you.
Comstock and the mining towns long before I moved to Virginia City. Look, there's me. I have hair. And there's old Fezziwig. Fezziwig alive again.
Oh, Jacob, my friend. Please come here. You've got to meet a business associate of mine.
Very pleased to meet you, Mr. Marley.
You must be that young man I've heard so much about. Ebenezer Scrooge? Scrooge, yes.
He has a keen mind for business. Why? Year over year, he's more than doubled our profits. Can you imagine that? Excuse me, I see some guests have just arrived. I won't be long.
Feel free. I'd like to get better acquainted with your prodigy here.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Scrooge, old Fezziwig seemed doomed to go out of business this year, and I asked myself, how did he manage to turn that around and become so prosperous again? And then I realized he didn't do that, did he? It was you. You have a keen mind for business. I admire that.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, sir, but I do believe that there's more to life than just business.
Bah! What a humbug! Life is business, and the business of life is profit, acquisition, and gain. And you and I must talk business, young man. I am fully prepared to offer you a position in my firm.
Are you indeed, sir?
Yes, I have been looking for a keen young man with a good sense of business to train and mentor to be my partner. And you appear to be that man. Why, without you, old Fezziwood would be spending this winter in the poorhouse instead of having this lavish Christmas party. So, yes,
That is a very kind and generous offer. I'm quite overwhelmed. But, well, Mr. Fezziwig has been quite kind to me, and I do feel that I owe him a debt of gratitude.
You are loyal, I'll give you that. But keep in mind that with me, at the firm of Scrooge and Marley, you would have many more opportunities than Fezziwig can give you. You would have the opportunity to set financial goals for yourself and have the means to achieve them. So you don't have to make up your mind this evening. Right now, I don't want to rush you, but do come and see me in the new year so we can discuss these matters. You have a wonderful future ahead of you, Mr. Scrooge, if you choose to take it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marley. That is, I will take that under consideration.
Please do so.
Jacob, here, have a glass of punch. Join us in the celebration of the new year. Please, please.
Thank you, no. I'm afraid I must be leaving. I have some business to attend to.
On Christmas Eve?
Well, it's a small matter, but one that requires my personal attention nonetheless. Good day, gentlemen.
A good day, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Jacob.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Mr. Fezziwig, and Happy New Year, Mr. Scrooge.
Here it is, Christmas Eve. Let's celebrate! Bring on the music, bring on the punch, bring on the food. Let's celebrate! Woo!
Ebenezer, I didn't realize what a good dancer you are. It's like we were born to dance together.
Yes, well, I love dancing with you as well, Belle, but it takes a great deal more than being able to cut a rug on the dance floor than to be able to provide for a family in this harsh world.
Oh, I have full confidence you will be able to provide for a family.
Speaking of my future, sounds like Mr. Marley is willing to make me an offer of employment. Can you believe that?
Are you not happy here?
Very happy here, but if given the opportunity to improve one's position in life, I see no reason not to take it.
Well, what I know of Mr. Marley, he's not exactly the kind of man that you should work for.
Nonsense. He's rich and he's successful. And if he takes an interest in our future, I see no reason not to hear the man out. What a grand night!
Yes, and all thanks to old Fezziwig.
Oh, what a kind and generous man he is.
A toast to our old Fezziwig. May he live a long life and may fortune follow him all his days.
Dear, dear, well said.
Well said indeed. You know, I'd forgotten what a generous spirit old Fezziwig had.
Generous? How can you say that? He has spent but a few dollars of your mortal money, 3 or 4 at the most. Why does he deserve such praise?
Well, it's not the amount he spent, Spirit. It was in his power to make us happy or sad, to make our jobs a joy or a toil. The happiness he gave to his employees is as great as if he had spent a fortune.
So you no longer believe that fools such as old Fezziwig here should be boiled in their own plum pudding and married with a steak of holly for their heart?
Well, I didn't mean Fezziwig, not old Fezziwig. He was a good master. I liked working for him. He was kind to me. And now seeing him here tonight, Belle, it reminds me of kind always dreamed I would have.
Belle seems a likely girl, but you seemed hesitant.
Well, I just wanted to be financially secure before taking a wife and starting a family.
Come, Ebenezer.
Well, can't we sit a little while longer?
No, we cannot.
Well, why not?
Well, there's still much to see, and my time grows short. Come, hurry. Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the Spirit felt its work. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices of night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night,
Thank you for welcoming me home, Ebenezer. Now that you've been with Mr. Marley for over a year now, do you think you'll be ready for marriage?
It's far too soon to be announcing any engagement. Even with the greater salary, well, I could let alone afford a wife, let alone a fiancé.
You've always loved profit and money more than you've ever loved me.
What are you talking about? Belle, everything I'm doing for us to secure a financially sound future.
Then why are we not engaged? Your profits have doubled now, even when you were clerk for Fezziwig.
Prospects mean nothing. They can change, they can evaporate, just like that. My father found out the hard way that it is only cold, hard cash that matters in this world. Only when I have amassed enough will I be able to marry.
You hardly seem happy with the prospect of us spending our lives together. I wonder if it will ever happen. Or if you'll always be more interested in profit than in family.
Well, you simply have to be patient. Once I've established myself in the world of business and have a financially secure future, then I'll be able to marry.
I have been patient, Ebenezer. I've waited for you to be ready. But I've started to see you change. I highly doubt you will ever choose a poor woman like me over money. That your love of money has eclipsed the love you once had for me.
There never was any other woman. Only Belle.
I do love you, Belle. There's no other woman I will ever marry. It's just that I have financial goals that I have set for myself, goals in which an early marriage would prevent me from achieving.
Her father did always seem to be waiting for me to say something about marriage.
Ebenezer, I never dreamed of you throwing me over for another woman. You who measures everything in financial gain, in weighing profit and loss. But my family keeps hinting strongly that there are other young men who are ready for marriage. They don't approve of me spending so much time with a young man that I'm not even engaged to.
Well, of course, they know that I will ask for your hand as soon as I am financially sound. They couldn't possibly want you to marry a man who couldn't provide you with every luxury in this world, could they?
They would want me to marry a man who loves me more than that.
I do love you, Belle. I just can't get married yet.
And I'm giving you a choice. Ebenezer, if you choose me, then you know where to find me. I hope you do.
What are you standing there for, man? Go after her. Go, move your feet.
Love.
Bah.
Oh, humbug!
Spirit, why do you torture me with these visions? If I cannot change them, why show them to me?
So you may consider the path you have tread.
I do not wish to see any more. Conduct me home. Why do you torture me with these images?
These are the shadows of things that have been. They are what they are, and they cannot be changed.
Spirit, I don't wish to see any more. Please, I'm done with this. I do not wish to see any more memories. I do not want these memories. Wash them from my mind and leave me in peace.